And we're live.
And do some nostril breathing.
Sure.
Okay. Ah, was it nice? Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Hello, brothers and sisters. Coming to you live from Stockholm, Harmony and Miguel. Enjoying the sun today. It's super sunny and warm, and we're super excited to be here. Today we've been playing lots of music, and it's our off day, so we've gotten to sleep in, to play music, to play the ukulele and the cajon and the flute, to create some new jams together, and it's been really nice. How's your off day going?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice to be home, not having to leave for work,
Yeah.
having to leave your home here,
Mm.
be able to play and not having full agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're excited about today's video. Just a few moments ago, we were wondering what we would do, and 10 ways to support your partner during pregnancy is what came up. And we'll do 2 videos. Today's video will be how Miguel supports me during my pregnancy, and tomorrow's video will be how I support him during my pregnancy. And let's see if anyone's on yet. Well, Angel hopped on for a moment, but not yet. So mostly when I get on here, I don't really like wait for people to get on like a lot of people do. I just go for it, and people see the video later or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so if you're jumping on with us, please leave a comment, shout out to us. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for witnessing us. And the 10 things that Miguel or any partner can do to support their pregnant wife. Now, obviously, it's going to be different for everybody. You know, every pregnant woman is going to have different needs, and, you know, partners are going to be in different dynamics. You know, right now, the dynamic of Miguel and I is that I'm home all day, and I get to, you know, kind of create my own schedule, be in my own space, while he's working 2, sometimes 3 jobs. And so he's away from home a lot, I'm at home a lot. So he's more external, I'm more internal. And, you know, a lot of what I find in our culture is that, you know, women are like fighting to be equality, fighting for equality, and they want to be working and they want to be in both roles. And what I have found is that it's been a giant blessing to let that go and to just be taken care of, to be provided for. And, you know, the truth is that when a woman is pregnant, like, she does need different space to be held for her, and it is a challenge to go and do the same job that you're doing when you're not pregnant. You have a whole nother job. So it's been really a giant blessing for me to just be provided for, and for Miguel to take care of a lot of the monetary stuff and a lot of the planning and holding space. It's been really beautiful. And in the first part of our relationship, we were doing a lot of traveling, you know, so the dynamics of our relationship throughout the pregnancy have also changed. And so we'll go ahead and jump into the 10 ways that Miguel, that I have found most supportive for me during this pregnancy. And the first thing I want to talk about is purging. You know, purging was super intense for 7 months. Could you shut those doors? Mm-hmm. It's not going to shut easy. So the first 7 months, as you guys know, was really intense. You know, I was purging every single day, and you know, there needed to be a certain type of space held for me then that doesn't have to be held now. So the way that he held space for me during this time of like purging and intense, like me needing to hold serious space for the baby 24/7. Number one is like, to help take care of her, like be awake in the morning when she's purging. Like, yes, slumbering away is nice, but this time of the pregnancy is like the baby's getting both of us ready to be parents, to be up whenever the baby calls and needs. So really show your support by being awake at that time. It would mean so much to me when Miguel would be up before me because of his morning practice, and he'd bring me a slice of ginger to like put into my mouth before I even start stirring in the bed, because as soon as I start stirring, that's when I'm ready to purge. And another thing is like clean the toilet for her. Like when you clean the toilet, it's so nice. And, you know, we had other support at Sacred Mountain Lodge when the most of my purging was going on, so Miguel didn't have to clean many toilets. But clean the toilet for her. It's like we're not the ones peeing all over the place. Like, it's you guys. So go and clean the toilet for her. Let it be fresh. And, you know, these are things that anybody can do for me. You know, it doesn't have to be my partner. It could be a friend or a housemate. And another thing is when she's purging is to bring her a hot towel. And not only a hot towel, but if you can even level up in that and bring her a hot towel that has lavender or essential oils in it, like peppermint and lavender, really, really help to alleviate the symptoms of nausea. So it's like bringing these gifts, you know, acts of appreciation, like that really means a lot. Do you have anything? You can just jump in if you want. Yeah. I wanted Miguel to be present, you know, because it's like, what can he do for me? It's like nice piece here, and we're talking about it.
And I helped write the list.
And he helped write the list. Really nauseous, so it's fantastic. Okay, so the second thing is massage. You know, a woman's body, even when she's not showing, even when her belly is not very big, is still, there's so many new hormones being released, and we're aching. I mean, our body is literally transforming in a way it's never transformed before. And so it's really important that we get physical touch, even from housemates or friends who just put their hands on my shoulders. It is such a relief and so nice when someone can just hold that space for me. So massaging the lower back, the hips, the actual spine. You know, the hormones are like traveling through the spine and into the hips, helping get my hips ready to give birth the whole 9 months. You know, so they're always hurting. The belly, the sides, and especially as the belly gets bigger, it's like we're now like holding, you know, a 4-pound, 5-pound, 6-pound baby all of the time. And so there isn't a time that our bodies don't ache. And so really like being caring in that way, and just always have your hands on your partner, even if it's just comforting, it's not massage, you know, just like to comfort them, because that exchange really goes a long way. And for you, you're a masseuse, so massage comes very natural for Miguel. He's energetically knows when something's wrong or off, and it may not be massaging, but sometimes just puts his hand there, and that really helps a lot.
Yeah, you got a heart from that.
I got a heart, yeah. Okay, so next thing is food. So number three, the third way that you can support your partner, your pregnant partner, is food. And I would say the biggest thing with food is energetic awareness. Being aware, number one, of what she can and can't eat, and it changes the whole pregnancy. You're not always going to get it right, but just having energetic awareness of what you're bringing into the partnership food-wise, you know, like, are you eating a bunch of junk food? Are you drinking alcohol? Like, have energetic awareness. And at the beginning of the pregnancy, when I first got pregnant, you know, Miguel and I were kind of like, okay, whatever you have to cut out, I'll cut out too. And that felt really supportive for me, because it's not like we want to cut out coffee. It's not like we want to cut out sugar. It's not like we want to cut out popcorn at the movies. You know, it's like we want all these things too. And sometimes it can feel really lonely when you have to do it all on your own, you know, and there's no little baby really talking back to you to say thank you. So it's really, really supportive when you can just have energetic awareness with food and how you're contributing to the relationship. Are your habits like bringing in a negative or a positive, to the baby? And really, all of these things is in service to the child, and we just really benefit from all of the service, from being the vessel, being the mother, the carrier. So food is a really big one.
And I wanted to add that also that for me it has been important to go and research online what is good and what is not good for her, because many times, I'm not saying that it's like that always, but we leave that up to the woman to figure out and for her to do the research. And so for me, it has been important to go online and really dive deep into what is good and not good to eat during pregnancy, what is beneficial and not. Like moringa, it's not good to have when you're pregnant, or ashwagandha, or many other type of things. It's like there are some superfoods that you're actually not supposed to have. So it's just that, to take that time to really go in and look what is good for her and not.
And it's such an act of service too, because I don't even like researching things. I've told you guys before, I'm much more intuitive, channel my answers than go into a book and look them up. And he's both, so it's like he took that on himself. I didn't ask him to go and research stuff. He really took that on, and it really was kind of like, oh, can I eat this? And I didn't even need to go look it up. He was already doing it. And so another thing is cooking and serving your woman when she's pregnant. It's like, this is our role. Typically, we're providing that in this kind of dynamic where he's going to work and I'm at home, and he's more the provider and I'm more the caretaker, which I love. That role is typically, I am serving the food. I am taking care of cleaning and cooking and stuff like that. But it's so nice when he goes and puts something together and serves me food. And when I was super nauseous, I wasn't in the kitchen very often. I wouldn't say ever. Miguel was bringing me all of my food. And so really, so that I could have 100% attention on caring for my body and being present and being nauseous all the time, he was always bringing me my food. And there was a dialogue that had to happen, communicating between what's right and wrong for me, because the things that were once awesome, hot lemon water every morning before we eat food, was a serious no-go, would make me throw up immediately. So it was really this dialogue of asking for what I needed, which was a great practice of self-love.
And it was also easy when in the beginning, because we were living in Sacred Mountain Lodge, I didn't have to go to work for 10 hours a day.
Exactly.
So I had a lot of time, and therefore I had more time to really care for it.
Such a treat. I never thought about that. Yeah. It's really sweet.
So now it's different. I mean, if I would be home more, then it would be easier, especially when the times or when you were nauseous and had a harder time to go and do things. It was so easy for me to do it because I was home and I was seeing it, and that is a blessing that many men don't have. Many fathers, that they have to go, especially if the mom is home. Absolutely. And even being, in a way, being home as you have been the last, since pregnancy, but even here in Sweden, is also many women who can't, because they have a job and they can't quit their job to be at home. They're not even allowed to, because they will lose their job and it will be difficult for them to get it back. So it's many women who can't take that time off to really be in the pregnancy and be home and do all the good works. It's a beautiful blessing.
Big blessing, really big blessing. And I kind of knew that I was going to have nausea. Maybe I projected it, maybe not. But I mean, I've kind of my whole life had that issue. So it was really just a giant blessing that I was able to have that space, that he could hold that space for me. So the next thing, the fourth thing that you can do to hold space for your pregnant partner is appreciation, is compliments, is gratitude and kind words, is being sweet to her, really just holding space for her in that way of thank you for doing what you're doing, because you can't do it, and really this position that we are stepping up into, especially first-time pregnancies of never being pregnant before, is that we didn't even know what we were coming into. You know, I had no idea what it was going to be like to be a pregnant woman. And so holding space for that, having appreciation and gratitude, like, thank you for your work, you know, and really saying that out loud, because it really goes, it goes a long way, you know. And not only that, but when you appreciate and have gratitude for a mother, that appreciation and that gratitude is felt by the child. So automatically, if I'm in a loving, happy, supportive relationship, the baby is being fed by those energies. It's being fed by the father's gratitude and the father's appreciation, you know. And then if you're in a relationship where it's not supportive, I mean, this is when, you know, the book Why Love Matters was so important. You know, it's like, because the love and the gratitude is the medicine for the baby and its growth. It's a cellular memory that it's first starting out with in life. And so not only is it important to have appreciation for the mother because she's going through serious changes, but having appreciation for her so that the baby is feeling safe and protected and happy and supported.
And as I understand it, also, like, when women go through a lot of physical changes during the pregnancy and maybe not feeling as beautiful physically or as sexy, it's like really has been. I feel it's and it's not to fake it, you know, at all, but really like say that how much you appreciate her, how beautiful you look, how beautiful your belly is. It's like how I'm happy to see you. Like, your smile just brings so much joy. Just really like words of kindness and appreciation, and really like you said, acknowledge that I see that you're doing a big a big work of carrying our baby. You know, it's like in giving your energy and your physical presence to that in that way that I can't. You know, it's like and at the same time, as we spoke before, but it's gonna be the next video, like how of course appreciating the other way, but it's like really. Like kind words and seeing each other and seeing the work that especially the mother's doing. It's something that we men miss too many times.
Gosh, and just hearing you say that brings me so much joy. You know, it's like the pregnancy in our culture, I feel, has been very black and white, very dualistic. Like it's the woman's responsibility. Until the baby is born, there's kind of this disconnect between the father and the baby. I mean, yeah, maybe like a little rub here or this and that there, but there's kind of this disconnect and expectation that the woman, number one, just knows what she's doing. And number two, is supposed to take care of herself and everything. And it's just like really developing a relationship in that way where we're co-creating this experience. We definitely co-created this baby, so there shouldn't be a 9-month separation between that co-creation and the then co-creation you're having when you first make eye contact with your baby. And I can understand, like, for a man, there is a separation, and tomorrow we'll talk about how important it is for me to also include him in the pregnancy, you know. But there's really, it goes both ways, and we can really co-create a foundation of support for both of each other by just acknowledging that we want to be more involved and that we want to be more loving and supportive to each other. So the fifth way that you can support your partner during pregnancy, or support your pregnant partner, is by developing a relationship with the baby. That's a great segue into what we were just talking about. The baby recognizes all of the voices that have been speaking around it. Not here and there, but the main ones, you know, and the voice sound is the way that the father can connect with the child before the child is born. And, you know, the child already hears my voice 24/7. And not only that, but the first sound it ever heard was my heartbeat. And so when it lays on my chest, when it hears my voice, when it hears me sing, that's very comforting and it's very familiar. You know, so if that's the case, the baby's connecting with me energetically through sound 24/7. Now, what is it like for the father? Because Miguel has a very deep voice, a very powerful, energetic presence. And there's no doubt about it that when he is around, the baby kicks more than at any other time. So the baby does know Miguel, and there is a familiarity there. And that's because he's been developing a connection with the child, with the baby, you know, loving on the baby. And not only that, but when he loves on the baby, it gives me so much love, because the baby's mind and my mind, our bodies are connected. Our circuitry is connected. And so when it brings a giant smile to my face, like to think about when he is like talking to the baby and loving on the baby, because it's natural for me. I'm doing it all day. I've always got my hands on the baby. I'm always thinking about her growing. And it's just like when he takes the time out of his day and sits and talks to the baby or likes to read to the baby, it really is medicine for both of us.
And singing, saying how much you love the baby.
Yeah.
It's just like having that, to develop that that relationship even before, and especially I think it's important for us men because we are not feeling the babies.
Mm-hmm,
you know, you're
mm-hmm.
feeling it. You're being in a constant inner relationship with the baby all the time. We're not just seeing the belly and sometimes it kicks. So it's like I've felt it's important to really make an effort.
Make an effort
to develop that relationship.
That's a great way to say it.
To talk to the baby, to sing to it, to make sounds, to put my hand to it, to just
to do your sounds.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. When Miguel does like ohms or you know, his throat singing to the baby goes crazy. And I can only imagine like what the baby's feeling like when that happens. Like it not only does it tickle me, you know, but it's like I can imagine just filling this whole space up with sound, which is just so exciting. I wish I could get feedback from the baby when it's born, you know, that it could talk already.
We have Jordan Walker there.
Hi, Jordan. Love you. She always jumps on.
3 people online right now.
Yeah, give thanks. Hey, guys, if you're joining us, like say hello, drop a line, show your gratitude. We're super excited and happy to be here together on Pregnancy Portal number 12, 10 ways to support your partner during pregnancy, and that's mostly ways to support your pregnant partner. And tomorrow we're going to be doing ways to support your partner while you're pregnant. So how I can support my partner, how I can support Miguel. And so we were just talking about developing a relationship with the baby. And then the next thing that I love this one because it's probably should have been number 1, and number 6 is physical help. Is actually holding space for the fact that your woman's body is not physically working the same way that it was working before. So things like independence when you're trying to get off the couch or you're trying to go up some stairs or, you know, a hill. It's like, or you're just carrying a grocery bag. I mean, we get exhausted so easily. And so really helping us, helping our physical bodies, you know, just being that presence. You know, Miguel pushes me up all sets of stairs. You know, his hand is already there when I'm exhausted walking up a hill for me to grab, and he pulls me up. You know, so it's just like having the support is your role, is what every woman on the planet wishes she has from her partner. It's like this physical support. It's like when I'm sitting on the couch, like I don't even worry about asking anymore. It's like he's there to help me get up when I need to get up, you know. And this physical help really develops a bond between us, between him being my provider, not only monetarily, which is important, but in so many ways, emotional and physical, you know. So physically helping your woman be pregnant, you know.
Yeah, not just see that we're both in it together and we're teammates.
Yeah.
And you know, if my teammate is doesn't have the same capacity to do some physical stuff, and especially before when the belly was starting to grow and your abdominal muscles were like almost totally inactivated.
Yeah.
It's like just having that understanding. It's like everything that requires the abs to be active is, you know, not possible. It's changing. So it's just having that thing in mind is always like just being helpful and knowing that we're gonna go up with a big belly and, you know, a weight to carry. It's like, of course we support each other because we're a team.
Yeah.
Very simple. Like, and I'm glad to have that team mentality.
Mm-hmm. And another really great thing to help physically is to bring her things that help her relax her body. You know, we talked about this in the purging, how to support your woman if she's nauseous. Bring her a heat pack. You know, we have like a little silicone water pack that we just fill with hot water. Oh, it is so nice That heat pack is so great. And do you know how much energetic output it takes for me to get up and do that myself? Not only do I have to go there energetically and then the thought in my mind, but then physically, it's a lot of work. And it's so much easier for you guys to just, oh, she probably, at any time of the day, we will say yes to a heat pack, you know? So filling up a heat pack and bringing it to her is just such an act of service, you know? And another thing is like, that we actually discovered late in the pregnancy is taking a piece of tissue or toilet paper and putting how many drops of essential oils?
Depends
3
on
and
the
3?
essential oils, like
Lavender and peppermint.
2 to 3 or 2 to 3
2
drops.
to 3 drops of lavender and 2 to 3 drops of peppermint. This is so comforting to someone who's nauseous or just needs a pick-me-up or just needs like to reinvigorate the body. It's just like taking this tissue, just taking a few deep breaths in. Lavender and peppermint are so, so nice. We discovered this way too late in the pregnancy, and now hopefully we can share it with you and you will use it at the beginning because it's really a treat. What else around physical health?
Just want to say a beautiful acknowledgement there from Nora. Thank you so much. Seeing the beautiful soulmates. I'm so happy you are experiencing this journey together. Sending all my love.
Yeah.
Love back to you. Thank you so much.
You remember Nora, right? From Sacred Mountain, the ceremony? She's the one who just had a baby.
Congratulations, Nora.
Yeah. And a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Nora.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. All right, so number 7 is a really important one because we are together 24/7, Miguel and I. And imagine that if your partner's pregnant and you're there supporting her 24/7, that you're also probably there. That like looks right.
What do you mean?
Just like kind of. Anyways, so number 7 is to encourage healthy habits and consider influencing this mother. You know, because like we talked about earlier, energetic awareness around food, whatever you're bringing into that or can't eat it really affects us. And we want to encourage into each other, you know, really holding space for 9 months to really taking in pure foods. Finding your partner if they need to go take a shower and wash off energy. Just encouraging, what do we write here? Healthy habits. I can't read it. Could you? Oh, okay. Drinking water.
Yeah. Drinking
water is super important, and especially when nauseous time, we have a hard time remembering to drink water. And even drink water because it's leaving her body just as quickly maybe as she's putting it in, if she can even drink water.
And also work out together.
Yes.
Like to encourage the healthy habits, to really, like when we were living in Sacred Mountains, like, come on, maybe let's go and take a walk.
Yeah.
Let's do some squats together to really like encourage, because I mean, it's always like that. We just start up the momentum to really need that type of support and encouragement.
Absolutely. And we're a team. You know, it's like when we consciously chose to get pregnant and now we're consciously moving and flowing through 9 months of pregnancy, and then we'll consciously have the baby. It's like we really just want to be present to like what our energetic effect is on the other person. You know, it's like if he comes in and I'm like been laying in bed all day and he's like, come on, let's go take a walk. I probably wouldn't have gone and taken that walk if he hadn't encouraged it. So really just encourage your partner to take care of herself. Encourage her to work out every day if she can. And even just a little bit of movement can really help with the nausea, number 1. And it can help with like the physical like expression of energies that are stagnant in the body. You know, so many systems of energy are mingling and happening and morphing and growing and stuff that's so foreign to us that sometimes we just want to sleep all day. But it's really actually not to my benefit that I sleep all day. Definitely take naps and sleep more. But it's more important that I keep physically active and keep new prana, new breath moving through the body.
No.
Anything else with encouraging healthy habits?
No, I think you got it good.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so number 8 is holding space for her. So the eighth way that you can support your pregnant partner is by holding a container of space for her. And this is totally energetic. A lot of Miguel and I's partnership is energetic acknowledgement of what energies we have as a single unit, and then what we have coming together, you know. And holding space really looks like listening to your pregnant partner. You know, we've got all these emotions, and I say the third trimester is the most calm, you know, because now we've integrated all these new energies and we're able to be a little more present. But in the beginning, there was just all these things coming up, like energetic stories that needed to be processed. I was sad, I was happy, I was angry. So there's really just this need for me to have someone to talk to, you know. And you know, there are sisters and stuff like that, and it is important not to process too much on your partner, but really just listening and encouraging and holding space for your partner when she's pregnant can be so supportive for her, to just help her move through all the new energies that she's experiencing. And how easy is that to listen? Huh? Is it easy to listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you. Maybe not all men.
And not always.
What are your tips for helping men listen to their wives process, not their wives, but their pregnant partners process things? Like, how can they listen better?
First of all, it's important for us to make sure that we have psychic space to be able to listen, because there are days when I am too tired or haven't done I'm taking care of my own needs, so it's more difficult to show up and hold, to really hold space for you. But first of all, like, make sure that we have that energy, even if we go and work and do things. So, and then also knowing that, you know, we have to have that type of understanding that she needs also to share with us, and needs to communicate, especially like in our relationship where we mostly have been you and me together. It's like, it hasn't been many other people that you can communicate with. So it's like, I come home and I am the one that you share with most of it. So it's really like just knowing that I need to show up and hold space. I need to listen how the day's been, what's going on, and
ask questions. How are you?
And have patience a lot, like knowing that even I have no clue what it means to be pregnant, but I can just imagine it's, you know, especially the body going through so many changes, the hormones, how it affects the sleep, and how, like, all different energetic changes. And so for me, having patience and compassion towards that, and really like holding that type of space for even whatever happens, you know, like, have that imagination, like it must be a challenge and difficult. So I will really like have that patience and yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
And there's probably a lot of things more.
Sure, you know, but this video isn't about listening. It's just little recommendations, you know. So then another way that you can hold space for your partner, maybe if you are tired and you don't have the psychic space to help her process, is just cuddle her, hold her, tell her everything's going to be okay, love on her. It's like cuddling and comforting. It's like we are going through so much and we have to lean on ourselves a lot. And so it's like really coming home and rubbing her feet, rubbing her back, rubbing her, touching her, cuddling her, being in her space. You don't need to speak. Just be in her space and have care for her, have love for her. Help her transmute those energies without talking. Just be present. Just be there for her. That's really what we need the most, is to just be comforted and to know that we're not alone. So the ninth thing that you can do for your pregnant partner is to not project your stories onto her. You know, and this is for any person in the realm and in the vicinity of a pregnant woman. It's like we all have different stories, thoughts, processes, families that we come from, and we all have different energetic imprints that we've been imprinted upon since conception of our own souls that we can't project. Because if you project, like, for example, I met this man in Hawaii who was like, oh, I would never, ever, ever watch my woman give birth. Like, that's just disgusting. Okay, That is a projection. That is a story that he came up with sometime in his life that made him completely repulsed by birth, which is also cultural conditioning. And so it's really important to just show up in a clear space, to not project onto your partner what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. What are other ways that people project, or that we project?
I think you said when
I think mostly stories.
Yeah, exactly. How things
Conditioning.
How things will be, like, and what we think we like, or how we think things should be done, or things should be. It's just like watching all of those, and be able to really be open for a new way of seeing things, and be open to see what it is. It's like I might have many cultural stories about what it means to hold space for your pregnant partner as a man, and just really like be open for all of those stories about how things are supposed to be, or even not only during the pregnancy but during the birth also. So
that's good. Yeah, and I think during the birth is even bigger, right? Because one of the luxuries I've had in this pregnancy is that Miguel has given me I get to create everything. What do you want? I have no expectations. I have no needs almost. Like, do you want me to be there, or do you not want me to be there? Do you want to do it on your own, or what do you need? What does my support look like? It's really, there hasn't been a I ask for something or say I would want something and he's not existent, he's not into it. That's never happened. So it's like not projecting onto her that she has to give birth in a hospital, for example. That projection never happened here, even though that's a cultural place that we both come from, is you're safe if you're giving birth in a hospital, which isn't true. And so it's like, don't project onto her what her birth reality will be. I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, number 10 is to study. It's like, if your partner, part of being supportive to your pregnant partner is knowing what she's going through without going through it yourself. And really, there's so much information on the internet. There's so many books you can read. Spiritual Midwifery is a great book for your partner if your partner's never been pregnant before. It's just a great book to really break down, almost like a doctor and a midwife mixed together, like what the process is, what's happening, what's good, what's bad. So really studying and knowing what's going on in the third trimester, fourth, fifth month, sixth, seventh month, eighth month, ninth month, how many weeks. Another recommendation I have is to download a pregnancy app on your phone. If your partner has one, so should you, because you should know what week of pregnancy that she's in. You should know how big the baby is. You should know what's happening this week, what hormones are being released, what is she probably going to experience. If you can come from that space, number one, you're going to develop so much compassion for what she's going through, because there's so many systems of energy in the body that are being born for the first time ever when you're pregnant for the first time. And really gaining that knowledge and gaining appreciation in that sense, you can really show up more compassionately and support your partner. And in this no projections, this studying will help you also have the knowledge that will cure a lot of your stories that are mistruths, that are false. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. And I think it's all like, all of these are just suggestions. It's like, not what one should do, but depending on what type of involvement that one wants to have as a partner and as a father, or coming to be father. It's like suggestions for someone who really wants to be connected with the wife, because we know that, or with the partner, the pregnant partner, because not only during the pregnancy, but like the first year or two after the pregnancy is where it's going to be the toughest for the relationship. So during the pregnancy and even before, it's like where we cultivate a lot of that foundation that we'll be standing on, that also we as men and as fathers feeling that we are a part of it, that we have a lot of understanding, that we've been like through the process. And I'm also like very fortunate to have been, not especially during the first like 6-7 months, not having to leave every day to work, as I have more or less doing right now, that I've be able to be around and take part more of like the process and see you go through through the journey, you know, and be part of it and sharing it. So,
That's beautiful.
you know,
And I think too, it's like if you can, because you can't relate physically, if you do have an app or you do read a book, it just gives you a sense of where she's coming from if you can't be present. If you can't be at home 24/7 supporting her, it really just, not only did the app give me a lot of power and a lot of energy to understand what's going on, it could really help you and your partner be on the same page, you, your partner, and the baby. You know, so it's really just about creating these bonds. And another thing that we talked about is like over the 9 months, over the course of the 9 months, this is our last 9 months of like, not romance, but of the romance phase, you know, of being with each other all the time and being lovey and being like, we're all up in each other's space. You know, once the baby comes, it's like now there's this new focus, this new little entity that requires energy 24/7. And so a lot of my focus that's external on Miguel will now be external on the baby. And so really just taking this 9 months to just lather up each other's energy and just really love on each other and cultivate the foundation that we will grow a child on. Yeah. Give thanks.
and we're also curious about, this has been like the list that you mainly or us together came up with a good way of supporting your pregnant partner during birth. What are your like 10 points for both?
Or
like
just
how
a recommendation.
a recommendation. It's like, what are your 10 points of how to support your pregnant partner, or the other way around, how to support your man at the same when during pregnancy? That would be very interesting, because this is like what we have come with so far. It might evolve or change some things, and we learn as we go, but we're very curious about what you think also.
I wrote, what are your recommendations towards supporting your pregnant partner? And you know, tomorrow we'll be doing another video, so I might do it alone or with Miguel, but we'll be doing another partner. So if you want to, I have a few pregnant friends who've jumped on during the call. If you want to leave a few recommendations that we might have left out, that would be awesome. And I think that's it. Where are we at? Wow, 41 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a long conversation. Supporting your partner during pregnancy is super important, and I'm super excited to have shared it with you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. Love you.
Yeah,
Anything else we want to say?
no, I think we're good right now.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching and
Blessings,
share
everyone.
with us.
Thank you so much. Gonna go enjoy the sun a little more. Be well.